Flosstube. This is Sandy, and this is my channel, Stitching with Sandy, where I talk about my love for cross stitch and all the things that goes with it. Welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. This is a not regular video. Usually I will go through what I'm working on, share with you my whips, my fully finishes, my finishes, and then any other things that go along with a channel like haul and all of that. Today, I just want to focus on an event that's coming up that I plan on being a part of. So if you're here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And I hope that what I talk about will maybe inspire you to do the same, or you'll find a project inside that you want to do and will be a little bit enabled, because I know I'm always enabled by other Flosstubers. All right, so the event that I'm going to participate, there's 2 in 1. And so first event that's coming up really quickly is on New Year's Eve. That's the 12 by 12. Kia B, she's on Instagram as well as Kia B Quilting, I believe. She is hosting 12 by 12. She started it a couple of years back, and originally it was 12 new starts for the New Year's Eve, and you start at 12 in the afternoon and go all the way up till midnight, and you stitch a new project. You start a new project every hour. And then last year, and she did it with Pam from Just Keep Stitching. And then they hosted like little video lives on Instagram throughout the event. And then last year they did 12 new starts, and then Pam did 12, I think she did 6 whips and 6 new starts, or she might have done all whips. I can't remember. But anyhow, this year, Kia's doing a focus, and you can go over to her channel to find out more about it, but she's focusing on magazine pieces. I'm going to host a 12 by 12 Zoom, and so because I live in California, and I follow the Pacific Standard Time zone, I'm going to start at 9 a.m. because that way, if you're coming in and you're participating 12 by 12 with Kia, and you're on the East Coast, then it'll be 12 o'clock your time. And I'm opening up the Zoom so that people that want to come in, you can come in if you're participating or not. If you just want to Zoom, that's fine too. If you're coming, I'm going to be doing 12 projects, and what I'll do is at the beginning of each hour, I will say, okay, it's time to switch if you're switching, and then again we'll go through a round of what are you starting now. It's a lot of fun to share what we're doing, but if you're not participating, you could just share what you're working on, and that is fine. And if you're not a chatty person, you can just zoom in and listen to everybody else. Maybe you'll be enabled or inspired to do something as well. I know New Year's Eve can be kind of lonely for some people, so that's why I want to open it up to others. So that's the first event. The second event is 24 in 24, and I believe this is Pam from Just Keep Stitching's idea. I could be wrong though, but I know she's participating in it, and this is 24 starts, or 24 starts in the year 2024. And so I want to do both. So what I decided is that what I'm doing in 12 by 12 can carry over to the 24 and 24. So what I'm going to do is I've chosen to do 24 Christmas ornaments in 24. And the reason why is because I have 5 children, and truthfully, I have only stitched maybe each child, well, 4 of the 5 children all have at least one ornament. One of them, he doesn't even have one. And it wasn't even, 2 of them is not their baby's first Christmas. It's like this year. So I feel like a bad mom. And I also have 1 grandchild, and I have stitched an ornament for every year. He's 2 years old. This year I would be making his 3rd ornament, which I have not made it yet. And then they'll need one for next year for his 4th ornament. And him, I'm caught up so far. But so I've decided to go back and add the ornaments for my kids just for the first 18 years of their life, so that I will have something to pass to them to add to their Christmas tree if they want to. And then that way they can carry on and have that as something that mom made them as something special. So that means I have a lot of ornaments to make up, because my oldest son is 30, my next son down is 28, my high schooler is 17, and then I have twin 13-year-olds. And so my 30-year-old, he has one ornament, so I still have another 18 to go, because if you count from baby's first Christmas up to 18, that's actually 19 ornaments for each kid. So I have a lot of ornaments to make. So what I'm going to do is I've made project bags, and they're smaller than my regular, and the idea was that I make a project bag and put in an ornament in each one, and then I would just kit up the first 12. That way on New Year's Eve I will start the first 12. Now I want to give you a little tip. I have participated in 12 by 12. This will be my 3rd year. And the first year was kind of a flop. And the reason why is because I decided to start 12 projects, but by the time you find where you're supposed to start, get your floss in there and start it, next thing you know, the hour's up. And that's because you're Zooming, so you're talking with your friends as well. So what I did last year that was successful was a couple of days prior, I put in the first 1 or 2 stitches just so that I would be right where I need to start, and I'd have a color already in my needle's already in my piece, and then I could just get started. And I have a lot of Q-snaps, so I can put a Q-snap in almost every single one. So switching that out doesn't really take me much time either. So that's what I'm going to do this year. So I'm going to share with you all 24 ornaments that I'm going to start with. And then I will show you the first 12 as I go through them. I'll tell you who they're for. I'll tell you the fabrics that I'm using. And then I'll also let you know where I got all of the patterns. So let's begin. So what I did was I had been wanting to make a project bag that I could put ornaments in. And I didn't want them to be big because I wanted them to look different than my others, so that I would know those are ornament project bags and the other project bags are my regular ones. So it kind of helps me be able to pull them out pretty quickly and know what they are. So I had a friend, my friend Arnett, gave me a tutorial that she thought would be very helpful for me, because I had tried to make vinyl project bags before and it was a disaster. I did not do very well. And since I've taught myself sewing and everything else all by myself, I'm sure there was all these tips you probably know if you're a sewer, but I wasn't. So it was awful. I didn't think I'd ever make them again, and I stuck to the cloth ones. But she gave me this tutorial. I used it, and I'll even link it below. I used it and it was so easy. So I was able to make 24 project bags. So here's my first one. And what I did was I went to the fabric store and I bought a whole bunch of Christmas fabrics. And then I bought a whole bunch of coordinating fabrics. So if I did the project, I put one fabric on the inside and one on the back. And so this one's Minnie and Mickey. And then what I did is I would make the reverse. So there would be another project bag that would have Mickey, Minnie on the inside and this plaid on the back. And then all my scrap fabrics that I had, I also tried to make a bag out of that too. And that got me to 24 pretty quickly without buying too much fabric. And then I had the zippers. I buy my zippers on Amazon, and you can get like a big clump of, I want to say there's like 25 zippers, and they're not very expensive. I think I paid maybe $16. It could be less than that. Might even been $10. And you got a whole bunch of zippers, and I just bought, they were like 24 inches long, because you can cut them down to the size you need. And I bought a batch of white ones and then a batch of different colored ones. And so far I haven't run out, and I haven't had to go to the store to buy any. So that was very economic for me. All right, so in this bag, now that I've showed you the bag, is this project. This is, I am going to be doing this little snowman ornament, and this is by Emily Call, and I'm going to actually be doing both ornaments. So what I did when I had a project like this that might have more than one in, is I went ahead and kitted the fabric for both, because the floss is already in there. And my idea is that after I stitch, I'm going to spend, each time I pull one out, I'll stitch on it for that day, and then I'll put it at the end of my pile. And then I'll just keep doing that and cycling through. So if I finish one, then I know I need to kit up a new one. and I'll just keep doing that. So this one I'll stitch one, I'll put it in the back, and then when it comes back up, I'll stitch the other. And then that way I'll actually end up with more ornaments. And I'm a pretty fast stitcher, so it's possible I could get through all my ornaments and be on a second round throughout the year. It just depends on how busy I am and what else I have going on. But so this is one of them. I love her ornaments, they're so cute. And then what I'm stitching it on is I decided I did not want to do the blue. So in the blue, in this pattern, if you can see right here, these are all stitched background. So it's like full coverage. Well, I did not want to do that. So I chose a 28 count snow linen, which looks like this. And so this will be my background and I don't need to stitch that part. So that'll make those ornaments stitch up really fast. And then I'm just stitching them in the called for DMC. So that's my first one. And then, and this one will probably be my last one on 12 by 12 because I am going to be working on a swap, and I'm going to do one of these for the swap. So we're doing, since it's 9 a.m. in the morning here in California, I will actually be on Zoom 3 more hours than everyone else because I'll go 9 to midnight. And so if I make this my last one, then for the last portion of my Zoom time, I'll just keep working on the same one. It should work out fine that way. Because probably all the East Coast people will have gone to bed. They will have wished you a Happy New Year and gone to bed. All right, so here's my next one. My next one, this one's for my grandson. This is the project bag I made. And it's the Grinch, isn't it cute? And then I just did plaid, green plaid on the back. And this one's gonna be Luca's ornament. And I am stitching it on 25 count overcast look on it. It's like a gray with DMC. And this one came from the 2018 Just Cross Stitch Magazine Ornament Edition. And it's called Dashing Through the Woods by Lucy Heaton. And this is it. And the change that I'm making is the reindeer I'm gonna do in a really dark brown and just let the background red pop. And I might change the package to green. So that's what I'm gonna do for him. Now this ornament is really cute. It has, she actually, in this ornament edition, she has 2. This one, and like on the next page, it's a reindeer with a Christmas tree in the background. So you could actually do a set if you like that. But again, 2018 Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition is where it came from. So that'll be Luca's ornament. And then, all right. And then what I did was, because a lot of the ornaments are similar, I did, or my children and my grandsons, so I went an ornament for me, an ornament for one of them, an ornament for me, an ornament for one of them. All right, the next one, this one ornament's gonna cover 3 of them. So in my opener, I had showed my Christmas tree, and I hope I did a good job on that. It's really hard to video and not move too fast, but not go too slow where people are kind of bored. So I kind of had to chop videos together to try to make it work. So hopefully you got to see my ornaments. But on my ornament tree, you would have seen Luca's baby's first Christmas ornament came from Lizzie Kate, and it's this one right here. And so I am gonna go and back and do my 3 younger children one because my older 2 boys do have an ornament. It was on the tree. One was a Precious Moments in the shape of a heart, and there was another one that was a Mary Mouse, and it's in a heart shape too. So my older boys all have a baby first Christmas, but my younger son and my daughters do not. So I'm gonna do this same ornament 3 times and just change the name. And I did change the fabric colors for them. For my daughters, Marissa and Cassandra, I chose a pink splash, and it's this white fabric with little pink spots. And I thought, since it's baby girl, I'll do it in pink. And then for my son, for Trevor, I chose this like blue, let's see what it's called. It's a Picture This Plus Mercedes Lugana, and it's kind of looks like a bluey sky, kind of. So I figured I'd do his on that since babies are blue, pink and blue. So those will be just like my first ornament, where I'll do one of them and then put it in the rotation, and then when it comes back around, if I finish it, then I'll start the next one, and I'll just keep going until all 3 children is finished. And those are done with Weeks Dye Works. That's what was called for. Now this was my, when I was making this project bag, my very first one, I wasn't sure the size I wanted it to be. So this was my prototype, and it's very small. So this is it. And I had these cute little winter friends on the back. Let me show you in comparison to one of the other ones. You can see it's a little bit smaller. So what made me change my mind on the size, I do like this bag, but what made me change my mind is I have a lot of Brenda Gervais, and I like her pattern size. It's similar to like the same pattern package it would look like if you bought a Plum Street or something, and I wanted that size pattern to easily slide in, and so I needed to make it a little bit larger, and that's what I did. Where this one's fine for the Lizzie cake, it's just a little small card, but I wanted a regular size ornament packaging to fit nicely in here. And I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you're aware of this, but vinyl, if it gets warmed up, it can pull from your the ink from your pattern and get stuck to the vinyl. So I always make sure whatever pattern I use has a plastic cover already. So like a lot of times when you buy the project pattern, comes in the mail, it'll already be in a bag. I leave it in that bag, and then that way it won't stick to this. And I also, as you can see this one, I turn it backwards so that if for some reason it did do that, it doesn't mess up the front, which is the picture that you might reference when you're stitching. All right, next up, I got, trying to carefully not lose any floss when you pull them out. All right, this is another bag that I made. Isn't it cute? I love this fabric. And for some reason, I have like 3 yards of it, and I don't know if I bought it for something, because I can't for the life of me think of what I would have purchased it for. And I had already made project bags, so I don't know. I guess I just loved it maybe. Now this one I'm doing on a mystery 18 count Aida, and it looks very pretty. I love this color. I think it's a live and dye, but I'm not 100% sure. It could also be a Picture This Plus, because sometimes I'll sample fabrics from 1-2-3 Stitch and buy their smallest cut just to see what the fabric looks like. So that could have been a piece that I got and I used on another ornament and I have leftover. But the ornament I'm gonna do on that fabric is called, it's Just Cross Stitch. It's from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition 1999. And this one is called One Starry Night. And let me show you. It's so cute. Isn't he cute, little polar bear? So I thought there's a little, and it doesn't show up on this one, there's a little like lines that go up and down across here that's supposed to look like the Northern Lights. I've changed the floss color on it, but I thought that this fabric would really give that look of the Northern Lights as well. So if I have the little polar bear here and I play off of the background of the fabric and then the change in the flosses, I think that will really make that ornament beautiful. I love polar bears, my favorite animal. So anytime at Christmas, if I find an ornament that has a polar bear, I usually buy it. Between polar bears and snowmen. So that is that ornament. I'm sorry I don't know the name of the color of that fabric. I just think it's so pretty. All right, next up, this one will be for Marissa and Cassandra. All of my children, I plan on stitching the Prairie Schooler that came out the year they were born. It won't be their first year ornament because I will have baby's first Christmas, but it will be their next year ornament. Here's my next project bag, little candy canes, and Santa with his candy canes. I love these project bags. They're so cute. All right, so since they're twins, I have to stitch this one 2 times. So this is Prairie Schooler 2010. My daughters were born in 2010. So this will be theirs, and I'm doing it on a 32 count wheat Lugana. And so I've already, as I said, I've already gone in and I cut both so that it can just rotate through the rotation as I go through them. Typically, if I'm stitching an ornament on a weekend, I can get it done on the weekend. So it only takes me 2 days. If I'm stitching it in the evenings after work, then it will take me the whole week because I don't get to stitch as much in the evening as I would like to. So that's my daughters. So a lot of people are doing different things. I know Kim, the Contented Needleworker, Kim, she's doing 12 projects that have a house in them. And she's on 12 by 12, she's stitching just the house, starting on the houses, which I thought was neat. And actually I have to give her credit because she was the one who asked me if I had thought about what I was gonna do and if I was gonna participate. And I was like, well, I was thinking 24 and 24, but I couldn't think of how I wanted to do my theme. And then she said, that's when she shared what she was doing. And I said, oh, well, I have been wanting to do ornaments. So I thought that's perfect. So that's what I'm doing. Here's my next project bag. I did this one. I love this fabric. It reminds me of my son, Wesley. Lives in Missouri and gets to see cardinals all the time. This one I'm doing called for Classic Colorworks, and that is because I'm stitching on 28 count black Monaco, and I'm going to do this series from Stitching with the Housewives. So this will be the one I start on 12 by 12, but I love these. They're all like names of songs, Christmas songs. So this is Joy to the World. There's Noel. There is Silent Night. Oh, Holy Night. Peace on Earth. I want to sing these songs as I'm saying them. And Oh, Christmas Tree. And then I think Noel has a bonus, and I can't show you because it's only the chart. It's not a photo of it. But so those will stay in the rotation. I've already cut up seven pieces because of the bonus. And I could tell you what the bonus says though. Let me just put this in there. All right, let's look. Let's see what the bonus says. The bonus one says, I think I liked the saying on it too. I've got fumble fingers, I apologize. All right, it says peace, joy, and love, and it's in a wreath. So I will do that one too. So all 7 of those, I'll just keep them going in the rotation. And those actually stitch up fast. Like I think I could do one of those in one night even. Okay. I'm gonna move these to the back of the basket or they're gonna fall. All right. Next up, this one I'm gonna stitch 4 times. This one, I'm stitching it on a 14 count, I think it's beige Ada, I don't know. It's very light. You'll notice that I have linen, I have Lugana, I have Ada. I like them all. And this is the project bag. I'm very proud of my project bag, so I hope you don't mind me taking a moment to show you. This is Santa's Village. I think it's so cute. And I had this little tiny candy cane fabric. Use that up as a coordinating fabric. Now this one I'm stitching one for each of my sons and my grandson. And this one is a Prairie Schooler from Just Cross Stitch magazine. I'll tell you which issue. It's from 1997. We're going old school. But it's a Prairie Schooler. I think they're classic. And the reason why I'm doing this is 4 times. This is the ornament. And I'm going to stitch the first one for my oldest, and I'll do it in the called for, except I am not stitching ecru on any of my Prairie Schoolers. I'm stitching white. I want it to really stand out, so I won't use ecru. That's what's called for. But I'll stitch his as a called for, and then I'll decide if I like it and I want all of the boys to be the same, or if I want to change out the colors. I won't know till I stitch the first one. And so I'm stitching it for all 3 of my sons, because each one, when they were little, there were two things that each of my sons loved during their childhood, and that was trains. Each one of them loved it. They also each loved dinosaurs. And so I don't know if Luca will too, but I figured he may go through that same interest, so I'm going to go ahead and do him train. So you've seen 2 ornaments for Luca, and that is because one will be this year's and one will be next year's, and then I'll be all caught up for him. Lucky boy, he's the only one. All right, so I'll stitch that 4 times. So that's another thing. If you're going to stitch something many times, having it in a rotation so that you only stitch it and then you go on to something else and then you come back to it later won't make you feel so like, ugh, God, do I have to do this again? Here's the Mickey Mouse. I didn't have any more of that plaid, so I did it in the candy cane fabric. But here it is on the inside. All right, so this one I am stitching, oops. It is on 25 count apple green Lugana, and it is going to be stitched 1 over 1. And this ornament, I have been wanting to do this ornament every year, and I printed it out so many times, and I just haven't done it. So I actually in my hand have like 6 different copies. So I'm going to show you the little tiny one. It's just a pattern. It's a freebie by Brenda Gervais. It's called Mary and Minty. It came out in 2020, and I printed it out every year since then. I'll flash it, but you can get it. I got mine on her page on Facebook. So here it is. Okay. So I've wanted to do that for so many years since it came out, and so this is going to be the year I do it. And I'm going to do it 1 over 1 so that it'll be nice and tiny, because if you stitch that 1 over 2, it will be very big. All right. Next up, this one I'm doing for my son Trevor, and he's my youngest son. He has 0 ornaments on the tree, poor kid. And I'm doing this one because of a special memory that him and I have. So here's the reverse of the Grinch that you saw before. It's on the back, and now the plaid is on the inside. So if you're ever doing project bags, small ones like that, that's a good tip, because then you can make it go farther, the fabric. Because the piece inside is just a small piece. This is a much bigger piece. And I'm stitching his on 32 count Spa Lugana. It's like a blue-gray. And then what I'm stitching for him is this snake from Stony Creek. And the reason why I'm stitching it is when he was in 4th grade, our school where I teach at hosts a father-daughter dance every year. And for the sons, we do a mother-son dance probably every 3 or 4 years, because the boys don't really want to go to a dance. And if you start going to these mother-son events from kindergarten to 5th grade, you're going to go to at least 1 dance with your son, but then they have other events. And so this year, when he was in 4th grade, they had a reptile show. And now my colleagues and I, there must be 8 of us teachers who all have children the same age. Like, we all had babies that year. And so Trevor is friends with all of them. And we went, well, they had this giant, and I don't like snakes, first of all. I don't like any reptiles. Turtles are okay, but other than that, I think the rest kind of freak me out. So when we went, Trevor kept wanting to touch him. I'm like, no, not me. You go ahead, buddy. You go ahead. And I took lots of pictures of him. But there was this yellow python. I think they called him a banana python. I could be totally wrong about that. But he was like 25 feet long. And his body was like this thick around. You would have to hold two hands to do it. So what they had us do is everybody stood with their son and we held him like this. And I let Trevor go up there between like my colleague and my colleague. And then they're like, no, you have to come. So I got forced to go up there and touch the snake and stand with them, which for Trevor, it's probably going to be a great memory. But for me, I was horrified the entire time. I think even in the picture, I looked terrified. But so I thought I have to make this ornament because this will be for that year. And it's a memory for me and Trevor remembers it. So that'll be special. Trying to go back with the ornaments is hard for the boys because they're not into as many different theme things as my girls were. And so trying to be able to find enough ornaments that fit them will be a challenge, but I'm looking forward to it. All right, so then there's this one. So this one is all classic colorworks, and this one was a gift from my friend, and I'll tell you about that. But here, look at this project bag. Doesn't it look like Barbie's gingerbread land? That's what it makes me think of. It's so pink. I love this. All right, so this one I'm also gonna stitch on it the other half. Oh, I dropped it. The other piece that was left over from the previous ornament that was on the spa, 32 count spa, Lugana. And I'm stitching this project. And this one came, last year was a Christmas gift from my friend Jessica. And it's the Welcome Stitcheries Happy Holidays ornament. And this is by Heart and Hand. And when she gifted it to me with the pattern as well as the called for floss. So I figured it's time to do it. And I didn't want to do it on the called for fabric. I wanted to do it on blue. I think it'll be pretty. So that's gonna be fun to stitch. And that one should stitch up pretty quickly too. I think she stitched it and then passed it to me. She's fast too. All right. And the next one I'm doing is the reverse of Santa with the candy canes. And this one I'm doing for my son Wesley. He's my second son. I'm stitching it on 32 count wheat Lugana, another piece of that. You know what's fun about doing this is you end up, I just pulled from stash. I really did not have to buy fabric or floss for any of them. I think 3, I'm missing one color, but when you're starting 12 by 12, you're not gonna get much done. So by the time I'm ready to work on it, I will be able to go and get that missing floss. And this is his Prairie Schooler. And he was born in 1995, so, and these are copies of the pattern, a working copy. I don't like to use the real pattern if I can prevent it because I spill, drip, all of that all the time, and I'm super clumsy. So his is this ornament. That is the year for 1995, and I love it. And so I'll stitch that for him. He's already got a baby's first Christmas, so this will be his second ornament. How sad. He's 28 in this second ornament. As long as I get them done before I die, then that's a positive, right? Because they'll have them. They just didn't have them while they were growing up. That's okay. They might not even remember by the time I give them to them that they didn't have them. All right, so then the next one, and all of the Prairie Schools are DMC, so that's why I just called for it. This one is another fabric that I had found. I loved it with all the mailers, and then I just put this cute little plaid on the back. And this one's for my son Vincent. He's my firstborn. He was born in 1993, and his is the poinsettia Santa. And I love this. My children are Mexican, and so the poinsettia is a very special flower in Mexico. And so being able to do that one for him kind of adds a little bit of his culture to it. And I'm also stitching his, this is on a 32 count natural linen. So that's Vincent's. And then the rest of them, those were all the 12 by 12s. The rest of them, I'm just gonna show you the ornament because I'm gonna kit it up later. All right, so here's this project bag. It looks kind of plain, but look at this beautiful fabric. Isn't that pretty? It reminds me of like newsprint with just a little bit of color added to it. A gorgeous fabric. And I'm gonna stitch Primrose Cottage Stitches Snowman 2023. And then next up, I am going to stitch, oh, let me show you my bag. I love this one. Look at the little critters. They're all making snow angels. Isn't that so cute? I especially love the reindeer. And then I just did some more of the candy cane fabric, and I'm going to stitch Reindeer Games by Brenda Gervais. This was a nice kit because it comes with the ornaments and it also comes with the ornament backers. So I'll just need to kit that up later. And I probably will not do this color background when I do. But you'll see it throughout the year when I get started on it. I'll show you what I decided to choose for it. Okay, next up is this bag. And here's the reverse. This bag I gifted in my advent calendar. I kitted the reversed version where the trucks I think are in the inside and this is on the outside for Sarah from Sarah Stitches as part of her advent box. And I told her she can't judge the sewing, but I hope she likes it. This is Lizzie Kate's Flora Mix Sampler 2011 ornament. And I'm probably gonna do the Joy first, but I want to do all three. And I will do it on a different fabric because I really want the reindeer to show up better. Okay. All right, next up. I feel like Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, will want this bag. This bag is Snoopy. Look at Charlie Brown Snoopy. I love it. And I did it on a plaid fabric. And the pattern that is in this one is a Just Cross Stitch Magazine Ornament Edition 2014. And the one I'm doing is this little stocking of this little woman stitching, and it says, just one more stitch. Every year when, or every evening when I'm stitching, my husband's ready to go to bed. He's like, I'm going to bed. And I said, well, so am I, but just 3 more stitches or 20 more stitches. I say that all the time, so he always laughs at me. But he knows that if it's 20 or less, then I'm only going to be a couple minutes, and he doesn't mind waiting. All right, the next one I made is this house fabric, and this is pretty sparkly. And this one is from 2015 Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition, and it's a Prairie Schooler as well. And it's this little one right here. They had a lot of ornaments in the Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine, and I had fun like just flipping through the magazines. I did those after I picked my children's because I knew exactly what ornaments I wanted to do for them. Then I didn't know specifically what I wanted to do for myself. And so I went through my different patterns, and then I just sat down with the magazines and flipped through them. And I love those magazines. To me, I don't care how old some of them are. They have, each one has at least 5 ornaments I'd like to stitch. All right, then I have this fabric. This Santa's glasses, isn't that cute? And then I use this fabric on the back, which I also love. And this is cute. On his glasses, it says, "He sees you." That's what I tell my kindergartners in the classroom. We have this little sensor thing for the lights, which is not connected anymore because they just changed our lighting system. But it's a black dome thing that sits on the ceiling. And so all the way up from Thanksgiving break, at the end of Thanksgiving break, all the way up to Christmas break, I kept telling them that it was a camera and that Santa could peek in on them. So throughout the day, you'd see them going at the camera. It's so funny. All right, so this one, I was inspired. This one, I saw this is just Cross Stitch Magazine 2022. And I chose this one because Sarah from Sarah Stitches, she did this for a swap, and I was in the same swap. And when I saw the lady hold it up, I was like, oh, I need to do that one. So this is the one. It's so cute. And I was telling her, I have this finishing piece that I picked up from Michael's. I think I paid like $2 for it because it was 50% off. And it's a little round it's a stand-up frame, and at the top is antlers. And I thought, oh, I could stitch that and finish it in there. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. All right, and next up is this lovely bag. I love this plaid, it's so cool. And this one is a Annie B's folk art, and it's called I Believe in Christmas. She came out with it this year. I'm gonna probably stitch the snowman first, and then I'll come back around and do the Santa because I love both of them. It's beautiful. I love it so much. All right, and then my next one is this project bag. I found this at a quilt shop, and I just thought it was so cute, the little words, typography. And then this plaid they had there too. And I really think this is I need to go back and get like 10 yards. I love it so much. This one, I'm gonna do A Whole Lot of Joy by Hands On Design. I got it at the Jingle Ball. It's fully kitted except for the floss. So I have the fabric and the finishing stuff. I just need to buy the floss. And so I will. And I'll do that one. And there's another one that's called A Little Bit of Joy. I bought that one too. And it looks like it would go with this one. So I'll probably put that one in there later. And then next up is this project bag. I love that the vinyl ones like give you a picture. Like you can totally pick out something that you want to stick out, and look, it's like a whole little picture. I love it. And then I just did it with this red and gold fabric for the back. And this one is a shepherd's bush. It's called Up on the Housetop. I tried to put a variety of designers in this too, so that it'll keep the excitement going. Plus, you'll get a little variety on your tree as well. All right, and next up, I love this fabric. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's a snowman print. Yeah, I don't think you can see it, but it's the whole inside super sparkly. And then I just did these peppermint candies fabric for the back. And this one is Emily Call, and this came out and I was like, jump on it, you have to buy it. This one, it's called Quilted Christmas, and my favorite one is the snowman one. I won't do it on this light fabric though, maybe a blue. Favorite one, so I'll probably start with him, but then I will come back and do the others as well. And I'm thinking I'm gonna stitch him over one so that I can make it smaller so it will fit on my tree better. And then, oh, I got 2 more. All right, so then there's this one. This is on the reverse of Snoopy. So there's the plaid on the inside and Snoopy on the back. And this one has 5 ornaments in it, unless you want to stitch the whole piece. I'm going to stitch them as ornaments. It's a Lizzie Kate, and I'll probably do the reindeer first, but I want to do all of them. They're so cute. And then all right. Yep, this is my final one, 24. And this one is that pretty snowman fabric. And it's the reverse of the previous one you saw. And this one I put in Emil Hill. And this one's called Winter Holiday Collection. And it's Merry Christmas. And it's already kitted, so everything's already in there. So those are my 24 and 24. I have other plans for 2024, and I'll come to you with those plans probably after Christmas. I'm still whipping down my whips. But I'm going to get them down as low as I can. So I'm going to spend the rest of this month. So I'll probably come to you after Christmas, and I will share, I will have a whip parade. It might even be after New Year's. I'll have a whip parade, and then I'm going to have a plans parade because they kind of go together. So I will make that one video that goes together. So I'll have a whip parade along with my plans for 2024. And then I should have a regular floss tube after that. I'm on vacation for 3 weeks, so it's easier to make more floss tubes when I'm off because I don't have to worry about getting ready in the morning, taking kids here, there, and everywhere, and then staying late for meetings that I have at work. So I have a lot more time to spend with you. So, since I probably won't see you again until after Christmas, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I want to wish you a happy winter solstice is tomorrow. Are you going to stitch a piece for it? I am. There's a hands-on design piece that I'm going to do that's dedicated for winter solstice. So I'll be starting that tomorrow. But you can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Stitchin with no G _ Sandy with an I. You can find me on Instagram. I try to post things as I'm finishing on there or what I'm working on. So if you'd like to see stuff from me sooner, you can go there and check it out. But I hope that you have a wonderful winter time. I hope you're safe, warm, happy, and healthy. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrated Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. And if you celebrated Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. I hope the lights shine bright for you every night. And until I see you next time, remember to be courageous, be confident, be creative, and be kind. And happy holidays. Bye.